Modern science makes no difference to the practice of witchcraft. Witchcraft is a belief, an ancient belief, deep in the human mind. Nothing can destroy it.
The simplest and the purest forms, in my experience, could be found in North Cardiganshire, particularly to a lesser extent in the south of the county, and fairly extensively over Carmarthenshire, and particularly in the north part of Pembrokeshire. You find it you find it as the traditional form, the old type of magic used in these areas extensively, and used sometimes for good, and sometimes you'd find the more evil aspect of it brought out. People don't know about it. It isn't very general, but we who live, or have lived, in these parts, we have found it and experienced a good deal of it. Now, it isn't excessively harmful, except in extreme cases, and oftentimes it is known to be used for good purposes. The evil eye, for instance, has been known to be used there, and I've actually seen this thing used, and I've seen its effects, for instance, on animals such as pigs and then cows. They can be bewitched by the power of the evil eye. It is a baleful glance thrown towards the object, which is generally an object of hate, and it causes, well, some misfortune, usually some kind of wasting illness. I've known of Welsh blacks in North Cardiganshire bewitched, and the owner, the farmer, finding them in the morning flat out on his field, he sends for the veterinary surgeon, and he can't do much about it. Well, now, the owner immediately comes to the conclusion that his cattle are bewitched, so he goes across the mountain to Llangerig, where there is a dyn hysbys, a consiliwr or conjurer, and he tells him his trouble, and this man, he can find out who is bewitching the animals, and he can also give a specific for the cure. And I've seen this work, this specific. He gives the farmer a piece of paper with an incantation in Latin written upon it, and the farmer takes it to the field and draws it across the cow's back from head to tail, that way, and then across the shoulders in the form of a cross. And quite shortly, the animal will rise up again and go grazing quite naturally.
But there is nothing natural about the evil eye, and there doesn't seem to be anything natural about the scope of Diana's powers.
You could be very sick, you know. Your milk could turn sour. You take the day in the cough. Anything could happen.
How do you exercise this strange power you possess?
Cast your eye. It's all thought is in the mind.
An ordinary housewife going about her work from day to day, she may have the power, and an occasion may arise when she exercises it. If someone does something to her that she doesn't like, insults her or something of that kind, she will immediately exercise this power. And it could be the evil eye, that perhaps is the most common, and the incantation, the speaking of a curse against that person. And also there is another very interesting form of magic, the wax image. Now, that is known. It's a very secretive thing, but an image is made of the object of the person's aversion or hate, made usually of ordinary wax. In the hours of darkness, when most decent people have gone to bed, the practitioner will carve this thing or mold this thing from ordinary wax, plasticine will do, as near as possible to the features and form of the object of his or her aversion.
The theory is one of the sympathetic magic between witch and victim. The effigy is the link is strengthened when the victim is made aware of what could happen and believes in the power of the witch. Question: what is the nature of this power?
I don't take any nature at all. You know you've got the power is within you. You've got a heart. It doesn't manifest itself. It doesn't sort of pop out through anywhere or anything. You just know you've got it. You can't sort of say, look, it's here, I've got it. It's not like that.
This woman could not or would not define her powers. In front of Wales Today cameras, she was equally reticent about what she could accomplish by witchcraft.
Well, you can be for bad, you can be for good. They think of witches dancing on the little pot, all 30 of them at the merry time. But it's not so. It isn't so, you know. It's a power within you. I mean, I can't explain any more than that. How can you say you've got it, David, when you haven't got it? I mean, how can you say you've got it and you can't grasp it? Got it? Do you know what I mean? No. It's a nice feeling to have. But I can't explain it. It's no good. I can't drink to it. But I know I've got it when I've got it.
The Reverend W.D. Williams, a lifelong student of witchcraft, is more explicit. He has first-hand experience of witchcraft in West Wales.
It is more of the white magic, as we call it, in Pembrokeshire than the black magic. And in Pembrokeshire, both north and south, it takes the form of charming for various diseases, mainly skin diseases such as bog ringworm and erysipelas and various other small, trivial skin diseases. But at the present moment, I think that this charming, this power, is used to cure shingles and jaundice.
As you heard earlier, North Cardiganshire from time to time throws up examples of witchcraft of a far more sinister nature. Aberystwyth is the hub, the focal point of numerous remote communities in the Cardiganshire Hills. It's also the home of the Cambrian News, a newspaper with a thorough understanding of the community it serves. Our investigation started with Ken Hankey, senior sub-editor on the paper, who by now takes witchcraft stories in his stride.
Witchcraft is, without a doubt, practiced in this area. In the hills, in the small villages and hamlets behind Aberystwyth, I would say it's rife. In 16 years of journalism in Aberystwyth and Cardiganshire, I've come across many instances of witchcraft. Such instances, a man who was seriously injured, burned about the face, and he was quite skeptical about witchcraft or white magic, and he was pressed by his friends to go and see an exponent of the art, and he eventually went to see this man, and returned to the hospital the next day, and the doctors were amazed at the recovery of his burns on his face. He had been told that he would be scarred for life, but when the doctors took the bandages off, there was not a scar on his face at all. I think that if you went out with your cameras, you'd just burn up a lot of petrol and oil and tires rushing around the countryside, getting nowhere. They say, I've been here 16 years and we've never had a name down on paper, with paper and pencil. I don't know how you'll do it with cameras.
In the event, Wales Today drew a blank in this area. But the tradition of the wise man or Dean Huspis practicing alone still persists. The banding together in covens has never been a feature of witchcraft in Wales, but with the evolution of the philosophy